Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Dan Blanchard with the Travel in Time with Dan Show, where we mix travel with history, with leadership, and of course with me, Dan Blanchard. Today I'm in Washington, D.C. at the National Archives building. Now, before this building was built, right, before FDR got this building going, our national documents are very important documents. They were just kind of scattered about. They were like in factories, basements, warehouses, where they were like fire hazards, decay and mold, bugs, all that. And FDR is saying, listen, we need our documents, need to have a home somewhere. So he's gonna have this National Archives built. And this is just the entrance. That door, it's gotta be, it looks like 40 feet high or something like that, that door. You can see this is just the entrance. It's raining outside today, so I can't get a good video from the outside. But this is just in the, not even, it's just the front of the building. There's some big stairs there going down. All right, so you can see that it's a neoclassical masterpiece design, a secular shrine for the American Republic. This is an amazing building. The designer is John Russell Pope. Now, he also did the Daughters of the American Revolution Constitution Hall. He also did the Jefferson Memorial. So he's a pretty big guy that's done some pretty big things here in Washington, D.C. And when he was doing this National Archives, he wanted to make it more imposing than the surrounding structures in the Federal Triangle. And I think he got the job done, right? It's midway between the Capitol building, which is over in that direction, and the White House, which is down in that direction, right? It's midway right in between it. And the funny thing is, the original designs by Pierre Elefant, right? His original DC designs, his plans, the archive was right here. It was right here, midway between the executive and the legislative. It was right here. And so this is what Pope did. Pope put it right here, and his design is definitely a public shrine and a working archive. Some of you may be wondering, well, what's so important about a working archive? Well, it's democracy, baby, right? Democracy. Democracy needs archives, right? Because in archives, this archive is a physical manifestation of the people's right to know, right? This is where the information is. We have the right to know in a democracy. And we have to have historical preservation, because without historical preservation, then we don't get to see what we need to see to have the right to know. So the historical preservation behind this ornate exterior here is a massive vault, which I think maybe that, whatever that is, a 35, 40-foot door, it kind of gives away, right? At least hints toward a massive vault where millions and millions of records are being stored away from the damaging sunlight. Right? The damaging effects of sunlight is right in here, okay? And when you have a self-governance society, which is what we have here in the United States, self-governance society, all self-governance societies, they need accountability, government accountability. But guess what? That government accountability is pretty much impossible, all right? Impossible if the people don't have access to the records of what the government's doing, the government's actions. The people need to have that access for it to be a self-governing society. If we don't have that access, then it becomes very tricky to be a self-governing society. All right, very tricky. Now inside here, you've got the Charters of Freedom. I call that the Big Three. That's the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights are all in there. The Big Three are right in there, and they're in the Rotunda for the Charters of Freedom, of course. That's what it's called, right? They're inside there, and there's a whole bunch of other documents that are in there. And if I remember correctly, this sounds way up to these columns. If I remember correctly, I think Pope had to dig down here like another 30 feet to the bedrock to make this. And if I have this correct, and this is the place, and I'll put it in the notes later if I got that right or wrong. But it's got these huge columns like this underneath us, right? Where they got stalactites. Maybe it is in this place. Graffiti, but if it is this place, I'll let you know. All right, I'll let you know in the notes if it definitely is this place, which is definitely pretty cool and worth checking out. But if it's this place, I'll let you know. All right, and if it isn't, if it isn't this place, I'll let you know in the notes about that too. All right, so inside this place, you've got primary sources. All right, and that's really, really important, right? I mean, who created the document? Why was it written? What does it reveal about its time? Is it reliable? That is super, super, super important. It's not he said this, she said that, they said this, so this expert said that, so I should listen. No, it's let me see the primary document of what really happened. And let's critique that, the primary document of what really happened. All right, so we can find out what's going on. That's all about self-governing societies. All right, that's democracy. You need the primary documents to be able to do that. All right. Now, you know, when I do my Travel in Time with Dan show, I like to mix travel with history and leadership, and of course me. This place is so wild. You've got to come down here and check it out, and just come down to DC. Check out DC. A long, long time ago, it's called Washington City. Now it's called the Washington DC, and I think legally, so the District of Columbia is legally what it really is. But you got to come down here and check this place out. It's just amazing. I've given you a little bit of the history of this fascinating, amazing building here at the National Archives. So you definitely learned a little bit, I hope, from that. And what's the leadership? The leadership is good leaders value truth and accountability, right? Good leaders value truth and accountability, right? A society that preserves its records and preserves its abilities to learn from its past, right? That's what you do, right? And again, it's accountability, right? It's truth, it's transparency. It's all those things that self-governing democracies need, and this is it. When I was young, I didn't realize how important this was. Now I'm older, and I'm like, dang, thank God somebody knew how important this was and made this. All right, everybody. Thank you for spending time with me today on the Travel in Time with Dan show, where we mix travel with history, with leadership, and of course me, Dan Blanchard. I'll be back real soon from another place, another great episode. Until then, take care. I'll see you then.